right, so one person is dead, 3 injured after a man opened fire inside a building at Seattle Pacific University. This is the latest in a long list of local mass shootings in 2012. Ian Stawicki shot 5 people at Cafe Racer in northeast Seattle, killing 4, hurting 1, and killed another woman downtown. In 2009, 4 Lakewood police officers gunned down in a Tacoma coffee shop. In 2009, a man shot and killed all 5 of his kids in Graham. In 2008, 6 people shot and killed by Isaac Zamora, 4 others hurt. Michelle Anderson, her former boyfriend Joseph McEnroe, charged with the 2007 killings of 6 members of Anderson's family in Carnation. In 2006, Naveed Hawk attacked the Jewish Federation in Greater Seattle, killing 1 woman, hurting 5. 2006, Kyle Huff shot and killed 6 people at a Capitol Hill house party. 2005, Dominic Maldonado hurt 7 people at Tacoma Mall in that shooting rampage, and he was sentenced to 163 years in prison. This is happening way too often. Now, yesterday's shooting at Seattle Pacific University reigniting the debate over how to protect our kids at school.
Absolutely, and joining us this morning to talk more about this, Dr. Owen Bargreen. Doctor, good morning.
Hi.
All right, so we just showed that full screen there, and I just counted, what, 8 recently since 2005. Obviously, this is happening more and more, these mass shootings. There's a ton of unanswered questions here, but one thing is for sure, like Bill mentioned, this is happening too much. So
definitely.
Why? Why does this keep happening?
Well, it's hard to pinpoint why the shootings occur. I think part of the concern is not being able to analyze risks well enough, and some of it is just not preventable. But it's just a very, very complicated reason why the shootings occur, and the results are devastating.
Well, obviously, and in this case, you know, we don't know why this guy walked into that hall and started shooting, and maybe at some point we will, but in general, what possesses someone to open fire into a crowd?
That's a very complicated question as well. I think that there are a lot of similarities when you look at these different school shooters. So in terms of their personality, they tend to embody certain ingrained traits. For instance, a lot of times the school shooter profile, and that's not every school shooter, but in general, they tend to be a loner, tend to have alienated social relations. A lot of times they have difficult family relationships. Maybe they have inappropriate parents or inappropriate models for parents. But one of the most key factors in looking at this school shooter profile is that these people are extremely shy, and they're shy and they feel socially alienated.
Let's talk about the other side of this. There's a great story emerging about this kid that jumped into action, John Meese, the hall monitor who put his own life at risk.
Yes.
Took an opportunity while apparently the gunman was reloading to tackle him, subdue him, and neutralize the threat. I mean, what a heroic act. What prompts someone to take action in that situation as opposed to hiding or running away?
That, too, is just highly complicated. I think there are a lot of factors there. And one thing that really I find compelling is the amount of risk involved in basically throwing yourself in front of a loaded shotgun. I guess he was reloading. That is extremely risky. So it goes way above the Call of Duty for his, I guess he was a monitor, and so that goes beyond what he's doing on a daily basis. That's an ingrained personality trait too, that's able to kind of possibly do these high-risk activities, because it was extremely high risk what he did, and obviously heroic.
So when it comes to some of these situations here, granted, hindsight is 20/20, but what can school administrators, what can teachers, everyone's looking at this going, what can we do to prevent another instance like this?
Yeah, well, I think installing nationwide school violence prevention programs that do a good job analyzing risk, looking at the major risk factors for these school shooters, and And that program, those programs are collaborative between, you know, psychologists, psychiatrists, law enforcement. A lot of times there's legal experts.
Right, because every shy kid is not a school shooter, clearly.
Clearly.
So how do you decipher the two?
It is very complicated. You want to look at evidence. You know, you want to gather as much research as you can about potential threats, and it's very complicated, and it's not something where you can simply put metal detectors everywhere and it will solve the problem. It's just way more complicated than that. And so that's why it's so essential to have kind of a multifaceted approach, multidisciplinary approach to analyze risk.
It sounds like Seattle Pacific did have a system in place to deal with a situation like this, and they followed their protocol, but a lot to discuss on this topic. We appreciate it. Dr. Owen Bargreen,
Thank you.
Good to have you this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, 7:24 right now.